Alrighty, guys, we're back. We're ready to rock and roll. We're ready to have a good time showing you our top 100 bestest board games of all time, 2025 edition. Tonight's episode is number 60 down to number 41. We're going to be doing 20 brand new games for you tonight. So hopefully you enjoy this. Hopefully you'll enjoy the ride. But after this, it'll be just 2 episodes left. That's really good. We'll get this top 100 list done in very quick order. So I'm very happy with that. We got Saturday night and Sunday night, and we'll be done. All right, here we go with number 60. That's not what I wanted. That's what I want. All right, number 60 is a sports game. It was number 26 last year, so it's fallen quite a bit. I still love this game as much as I always have. Just didn't get to play it as much. How many times did I play this game I actually played it 20 times, which is a lot. It is a super lot, I would admit. That is a super lot, 20 games. But it just fell down because, I've kind of just sports simmed out, I guess, at this point. And of course, this had no image available on Board Game Geek, so we're using the Board Game Geek information. This is Fall Classic Baseball, classic game of baseball. It uses a 2d6 and a d20 occasionally. But it's a lot like APA. You're going to be looking at the batter's card. If you don't get a result, it'll go to the pitcher card. But with a D66 result roll. And it's very quick. There's a nice fax action system to it. Fall Classic is one of my all-time favorite sports sims. I play it 20 times or so every year. And it's great. It's, simulating a baseball game. And I think it does a really, really good job of it. Just so happens the cards are great quality, great components, and like I said, the only thing that's really knocking this down for me is it's just, I play 20 times every year, but it's just, I don't know, I've just lost the luster of the sports games a little bit. Just don't thrill me as much as they used to. There's no new, so it's still a great game. Anything in the top 100 is still a great game. It's just not as important to me anymore, so I just moved it down the list. And you're going to see in this group, there's probably like 4 or 5 of these very similar things. I'm going to say this over and over again. Number 59 is one of 4 brand new games to this section, and this is one of the more recent ones we got. It was a game that I missed when it first came out, and it was very expensive, anywhere between $80 to $100 to pick up a little simple card game. And I'm like, I'm not spending $80 on a $14 or $19 game. There's no way I'm spending that. Fortunately for us, in 2024, it got re-released. I was able to pick it up and play it. And this is, of course, Resist. And this is a great game. It didn't have a rank in 2024, obviously, because we hadn't played it. It was brand new to us this year. This is a game about the resistance fighters, and you're trying to complete objectives by defeating the enemies there, by using your marquees. And the marquees have a hidden power if they stay hidden, or they have a revealed power if they're revealed. And if you reveal them at the end of the turn, they go away and they're done. You can't use them anymore. So you're constantly struggling with, how do I complete these objectives and defeat all these enemies, and with the few units that I have in my hand. And then how can I do this without turning in 5 guys every turn? And it's a constant battle. It's very hard. It is a very fun, interesting game, though. And when you can figure out these little puzzles, like, oh, I can take this objective. If this guy does this and this guy does this, we'll only lose one of our marquee, which means 4 of them will come back. and cycle through our deck again. And we'll actually get a new one to add to our deck. Oh, this will be great. And when you figure these moments out, they're really cool, really fun. It's a 20 to 30 minute game. It's not very hard to learn, and it's very good. Now, they just released a sister game to this called Witchcraft. And I don't have Witchcraft yet. I would like to get Witchcraft because I really like this game. And I hear Witchcraft is even better than this game from a lot of people out there. So I would love to try Witchcraft and see what it's like. But my 59 is Resist. My number 58 was 52 last year. And we played it a bunch. And we actually played it 12 times in 2024. So pretty reasonable amount of times. And this is a quick hockey simulation game that gives you a pretty good results of the game and gives you a pretty good flow. It doesn't do every single pass or every single possession. It just highlights the 5 to 10 moments during a period that something happens, either penalties or hitting or fighting or goals or scoring opportunities. And you have these 5 to 10 moments every period based upon your die you're rolling. And I suppose I should share which game it is. This is, of course, Stone Cold Hockey. It was number 52 last year. It's number 58, up a little bit just because, again, sports games just kind of, right now I'm just kind of down on them, and they're just kind of the same thing every year, time after time after time. No new blood. It's not like Euro games where every year you get 200 new Euro games. Like I think I got like 4 new sports games. They were all from the same company last year. So it's a matter of sometimes these sports games lose their luster. Anyways, Stone Cold Hockey. Again, I hate to say this over and over again, but I'm going to say it. Any game in the top 100, let alone number 58, is a great, awesome game when you have, 1,000, 1,500 different games you've played. Being number 58 is pretty gosh darn good. And again, I play it 10, 12, 15 times a year. I play a couple games and I commit to it, and then I kind of put it away and let it wait. And then after a couple months, I'll get it back out and play a couple more games. It's one of those things you can play 2 or 3 games in, kind of back to back. Each game lasts about a half an hour to 45 minutes, maybe an hour maximum. Depending on if you're keeping stats and ratings and all this. If you're just trying to get your final score and all you care is, goal score, you don't have to look up who scored it, who got the assist, what the time was. You don't have to do any of that extra stuff. So it ranges anywhere from a half an hour to an hour. And, on my channel, to get a whole hockey game in that amount of time is really, really good. The pricing is really good on this. You actually can get the program and play it digitally, and it plays just mouse click, boom, boom, boom. It plays great, awesome. You don't have anything to write down. You don't have to keep track of anything. But Stone Cold Hockey, really solid, good. It's probably, I hate to say it, my favorite hockey simulation at this point. It's the one I play the most because I can get it to the table, and it's not going to take 3 or 4 hours to play one stinking game. All right, so my number 57 was number 84. This one came down a bunch this year, and it's because I played it. I played Mission 2, I played Mission 3, I played Mission 4. How many times did we play this game this year? I've got my other sheet up. Let me look and see. There it is. I actually played it 3 times this year in 2024. And the game I am talking about is Daddy-O, a solitaire air war game. So this is a book game by Historic Wings. Does a great job with all of his games. And then you can purchase the book off of Amazon, and then you can go to Blue Panther, and they sell you the boxed editions, which which are like this. So you get a nice box, and in there you have all the maps and the counters and everything, so you don't have to print all that stuff out yourself. So Tally Ho is a book game where you kind of print and play your own counters, or you can go to Blue Panther and they will print the counters and the maps and everything and give you a nice box to put your book in and everything. And I would highly recommend to do it that way. It's very reasonably priced, and you get a great outcome. Tally-Ho is it's the British fighting off the invasion from Germans in 1940, and you're using your Spitfires and your Hurricanes and your Defiants, and each mission you're trying to prevent the Germans, which are run by the book and the AI system. And they're going to be coming in with their BF-109s and their Stukas and their BF-110s and all their other planes. And they're going to try and bomb your convoys and bomb your airfields and do all that stuff. So you're trying to fight them off. Every mission is randomly set up because based upon how you did in the previous mission, you're going to be rolling to see how many of the units you're going to get, and then their classification and their qualities. So sometimes you'll get green units, sometimes you'll get ace units. It's just a solid game. You can play each scenario in 45 minutes to an hour. They're not super complex. Again, if you get the Blue Panther boxed edition, you won't have to bend and break your book spine to try and lay the map flat out, so I would highly recommend to do that. But it's a lot of fun. It's really good. There's 4 games by Historic Wings now that cover different territories. He's got a new drones game out if you want to do the drones. He's got Tally Ho, Mag 23, and Lysander. I think the 4 that he's got out. He's got another one coming out soon to be announced. So check those out as well if you enjoy. I never thought I would play book games. I played 2 of them this year. 2 different times I played book games, and it's going to be a thing, I think, going forward, creating book games. And I never really saw myself doing it, but I enjoy it a lot. My number 57 is Tally-Ho! Number 56 was number 61 last year. It is a civilization building game. It's one of my all-time favorites. And this game is called Nations. So, the one downside with this is it's been out of print for years and years, so trying to find a copy of this is a little daunting. And I would highly recommend, if you get Nations, to try and get the expansion if you can afford it and you can find it. But if you can, it'll add new factions in and give you asymmetric factions as well, which is kind of cool. It's a civilization game. You're going to be playing through 4 eras, and it's going to have different things, and you're going to have your nations. You're going to be trying to purchase new cards that'll upgrade. So like your original fields might earn you 1 food every turn, which is not a lot. And if you could buy, a building like a granary that gives you 2 food every turn, great. And then every time you add one of your little citizens to there, it produces whatever that card is. So if you got 3 citizens on there, instead of making 3 food, you're making 6 food. There's wonders, there's heroes or leaders, there's buildings, there's different territories to conquer. There's a solo mode that's pretty decent, does a pretty decent job. It is a very random in what it take. He's going to be taking cards away, and then you're flipping up a little token. You're shuffling up all of his tokens for the era, and you're flipping up, and it'll tell you what his, how many military points he's going to have and how many prestige points he's going to have at the end of the round. So it is kind of random, which is fine. It does a very fine job. It's just fun running your little civilization seeing if you can build a nice engine up with it and get lots of victory points and lots of food and lots of stone to build all your buildings and your wonders, and trying to manipulate the cards and get the best leader for your civilization. Very good, very interesting, and it plays in about an hour and a half. So it's not a super long game. It's stays around for a little bit of time. The quality and the components is awesome. As you can see, the artwork is awesome. It does a very good, respectable job. It's one of my all-time favorite civilization building games. Again, the only downside with this is it's harder to find. It's been out of print for years and years and years. I think I spent almost $100 on my copy, but now you can get a few copies around $50 to $60. So more people are, getting it out of their collection, and I would recommend, if you can find a copy, get it into your collection, give you a try. My number 56, Nations. Number 55 was number 33 last year. And that's because all of these games were kind of folded into one number. This year I've kind of separated them because I have some that we've already covered back in what number was it? What number was it? It was number 96, Command & Colors Samurai Battles. And I didn't want to just give one number for all the different games because I've played all the different games. And yes, I rank them in different spots and how much I like them and how great they are. And my number 55 is going to be Command & Color Napoleonics. I think it's a little bit better than Samurai game. For me, it's probably my favorite of the Command & Colors games. It does a really good job. Although I would say Memoir 44's up there because I enjoy that era. I just haven't played Memoir 44 enough. Although we have played Memoir 44 on Board Game Arena now, it has it, so we can play that on Board Game Arena. So Memoir 44 might be able to pop in the list. But my favorite is the Command & Color Napoleonics. There is a lot of expansions. I think there are 4 big expansions, or there might be 5, 4 or 5. So it really gives you lots of different countries to play, lots of different battles. And it does bring in artillery, cannons, a little bit of cannon fodder in there, and a little bit of horse cavalry action, and also some musket and infantry action. So you got a little combination of everything, which is kind of nice. So you got some nice range shooting, some artillery shooting, and some quick moving horse units. And then you've got some ability to put your units in different formations, either column or squares. It just adds a little bit of crunch to a Command & Color system that I think is very simplistic. And getting that extra little bit of crunch for me is nice because the game is so simple and easy to play. You might as well add a little crunch in your games. So for me, Command & Color Napoleonics is probably the best one of the bunch for me, and it was ranked 33 last year. It fell down a little bit just because I didn't get a chance to play it as much, and I think I only played it Command & Colors. Let's see if I can. Last year I had it all broken down into one group, so I couldn't tell you. But my number 55, Command & Color Napoleonics. Great game by GMT. Production quality's awesome. Just a great block game. There's a lot of stickering, but once you get them all stickered, you're going to have a lot of gameplay in there. Number 54 is, this game is awesome. I actually have this game on order. It just hasn't arrived yet. I like this game so much on Board Game Arena that I went out and purchased the board game edition because I want to have the board game edition because I think it's that great a game. It is an abstract puzzle game, which I love. It's called Turing Machine. And you're going to be asking, you're trying to simply find a 3-digit code. And you're going to ask the game different questions about the code. And based upon the little pegs and everything, you put the little cards on top of one another based upon the numbers that they give you. It'll tell you whether it's true or false, and then you're trying to get the answer and knock out, okay, well, if it's higher than a 3, that means it can't be a 3, a 2, or a 1. So it's got to be either a 4 or a 5, okay? And we know that yellow is greater than blue, and blue is a 4. Well, if yellow is greater than blue and blue is a 4, that means yellow's got to be a 5. You know, and you calculate all these things out, and it makes you feel like, you know, it is a brain burner. It was number 118 last year, as you can see there. But I played it a bunch of times this year on Board Game Arena. It is literally a 10-minute game. Let's see. Turing Machine, I played 9 times. 9 times in 2024. You can sit down and play it in 15 minutes. You can play it again. It's just so much fun to try and calculate and figure out. You know, I always try to get it done within 2 turns. You get 3 guesses as a turn, and then the second turn you get 3 guesses, and I like to have it figured out by then. And sometimes I get it even before that, and I feel like I'm so smart. I'm so smart. And we just played this not too long ago. It is so good of a game. I love my abstract puzzle games, and this is probably maybe the highest one on my list, number 54. Turing Machine, the punch card computer. It's so neat. I can't wait until I get this game, to be honest. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, I can play it on Board Game Arena 1,000 times. It's great. Number 53 was number 39 last year, so it's dropped a little bit, and it's just because I haven't played it as much as I used to in the past. It's got some of the best, what I'm going to call best quirky artwork out there, and it's got a theme that you're not going to find very often in any board game out there. That is, you are in charge of creating a multi-million-dollar film, and you have to make it a masterpiece. The game I'm talking about, of course, is called Roll Camera. It is such a good game. It's the filmmaking board game. And if you can get the expansions for this. The expansions are actually very, very good. Especially the B, I think there's one called B-Roll or B something. I think it's B-Roll. Get the B-roll camera. There's a holiday one, and then there's a third one that gives you more cards. But each player or solo, I play this solo and it plays fine. Each player is going to take a role in the movie. One person is going to be the director or the cinematographer or the lighting person or the sound person or the production person and all this stuff, and you are trying to manage your time and your budget, and you're trying to make sure, because as soon as you run out of time or you run out of budget, you look to see how good your film is, and there is a track, and the film has to earn so many stars to be worthy a film. And some of the combinations that you make is like so fun and so interesting. It's like you got the undead samurai attack of octopuses and things like that is going to be your final title for your, I'm just thinking of things off the top of my head. That's the title of your movie. And the fun thing about this game is you earn stars to do things, or you lose stars to do things. And you can actually make a classic movie by having it be so bad, so terrible, that it's a classic great movie because it's so bad. People love to watch it. It's just so bad. Or you have to make it really, really good. You can't be anywhere in the middle. It's really interesting. It's really fun. There are dice placement. You're going to be rolling the dice, and then you're going to be trying to get time and budget. Each one of those things is going to cost you to get the different cards, to put those cards in the film, and trying to get the right actors. And as you can see by the artwork there, it's all super quirky, very cool artwork. It's a great game. I love that game. It makes me want to play it just talking about it. It's so good. Again, I think it's on the boxes like 2 to 5 people, but you basically run one player's turn and you do its things, and each player has their own special ability. And then at the end of your turn, you have to adjust how much your budget is and how much your time is based upon what you did. And then you go to the next player, and that player is going to be rolling the dice and doing the thing. So it plays fine solo. You don't need to do all that stuff. There's a lot more going on than what I'm talking about, but it's a cool game. It is really cool. And you don't find very many themes like this. And there is an edition of the box that is got the lid opens up just like that little, thing they do in the movies. It snaps down. There is an edition of that has that. I think it was like the Kickstarter edition had that. And the box was designed to do it just like that, which is super cool. So it's very thematic and does a really good job. All right, number 52 was number 8 last year. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Number 8 all the way down outside the top 50. It's still an all-time great, awesome game. The Phoenix Knight is going to be very upset when he sees this. Very upset with me. This is going to be Eldritch Horror. Yeah, it fell quite a bit. It was number 8 last year, and to drop all the way down to 52. And the reason is, it's a bigger game, and just trying to get it out and play it is a mammoth undertaking, and it takes the problem with my edition is I have all the expansions. There's 3 big box expansions and 3 little box expansions, and I have all the expansions mixed in and the cards mixed in and everything, so I can get it out and play it. But that means there is a ton of cards and a ton of pieces and a ton of everything that I need to try to work out, and that's the reason it's fallen down. It's because it's not just put the base game out on the table, get a couple characters, and get a Cthulhu out there, or get an elder god and put a elder god out there and fight it. It's not like that. It's at least my edition. It's just so much stuff. Now I did play this on Tabletop Simulator. Just about 2 or 3 weeks ago with Blue Tweezers. We were trying to get a couple people together over the Christmas break. We played one session and then nobody could make it the next session. And again, it's like, okay, I got this game. Can anyone show up? And no one shows up. And I'm like, well, I guess nobody cares then. So, yeah, unfortunately, it just gets to be too big and too hard and too long, and people just can't commit to it. And I'm kind of the same way. It's so big and so long and such a commitment that I can't commit to it as much as I used to. I would love to commit to it more if I had other dedicated people out there. Hint, hint. But yeah, it's the Arkham Horror universe, but basically covering the whole world, and you're moving your characters around into London and Tel Aviv and Tokyo and Sydney, and you're doing things and having encounters, and you're trying to complete the mysteries that will defeat the Ancient One before he awakens. He would definitely not show up, Higher Ground Gaming. I know you wouldn't. He's not a big fan of Cthulhu at all. But that's why it took a big drop this year. It's just hard to get it to the table. It's long to play. It's kind of fiddly as well. I will admit, it's kind of fiddly. It's still, again, an awesome, great game. Tells a great story. There's a lot of adventuring going on, and just your moments that will happen and be like, wow, I can't believe that I made it through that, and oh my god, that is awesome, and the event that happened will take out the monster that was preventing me from going to the location to get the thing I need to win the game, and oh my god, the event was like perfect for us, and we were able to get the event thing, and you have those moments, and it's so good, and that's why it was number 8. But for me, this year, 52. 51 was 37 last year. It's a sports game. It's not the highest ranked sports game. I played this game 11 times in 2024. I talked about it earlier with Fall Classic. Fall Classic kind of simulates this game with 2D6. It's your APA baseball. We've talked about APA golf. This is your APA baseball game. This is so good. It's just 2D6. You use your little shaker. You shake them out. You're looking at the player card. You're looking at 11 to 66 based on what you roll. And it's going to give you results. And there are certain numbers on the cards that are good. 1, 1, 3, 3, 6, 6. There are numbers that are really bad. Usually 53, 52, 32, 43 are all usually bad numbers. If you roll those, you usually get bad results, double plays or whatever. 66 might be a home run. You know that. This is one of these games that has a result chart. So if you roll a number, you get a result, and it gives you a number. So the result number is going to be a 13. It's a strikeout. And once you start to learn the numbers, your game goes so quick. You can get a game. I've actually played a game that was 18 minutes of APA baseball. I played a whole game in 18 minutes because it's just roll, boom, out, roll, boom, out. You can go super, super quick. There is a Master Edition, which adds some Master rules. If you have the Master cards, which are a little more expensive, or you have to get them printed. Make sure you have the master stats and ratings on them. But it's the basic game is doable, is playable. Some people say it's too simple, but some people enjoy the simple life anymore, and you don't need more complexity. It is definitely a it's been around since 1956 or something, and it's been fine-tuned through the years, and it's got years and years of evolution and years of fine-tuning everything. So at this point in 2024, it's just a classic game, and I would highly recommend at least trying the basic game. I would say the one downside with APA, with all of APA products, unfortunately, is they make really good components, but they cost quite a bit. You're going to be paying premium money for premium cards. I will just say that. A full season online ordering with the expansion or with the extra players for a full season of APA Baseball goes anywhere between $110 to $140. So you're talking a pretty good amount of change, which is why this is number 51. It is kind of a little on the expensive side to get the cards. Now you can get rehashed ones that people have used and, a lot cheaper. So there's ways to get it cheaper. I'm not saying that, it's going to cost you $120 on every season. Most of the seasons I spent between $30 and $35 on. So you can find them out there. There's plenty of people reselling their season files and all that. So it's definitely a game to look at. If you're a sports sim enthusiast and you want to replay a baseball season, again, you can play a game anywhere between 15 to an hour. So this is one of these games, depending on how quick you are, how many games you have on your belt. You can watch Tebow play the Master Edition. He can do a Master game. And I don't know how he does it, but he can play a master game in about 20 minutes. So he's played somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 to 4,000 different APA games, but he can, every dice roll, he knows the exact outcome from every chart because he's experienced them all a million times. So check out Tebow's channel on YouTube if you want to find out the Master Edition of APA, but basic plays just great. And we're halfway through this list. That's not too bad. We're going to have to pick up the pace a little bit, I would like to. We're in the top 50. We're halfway home. Halfway. Let's get a drink. Let's get a drink and take a breather. Whoo, let's take a breather. Oh, Higher Ground Gaming does say he prefers the cousin game to APA Baseball called National Pastime 2. So you can look at that if you're, into APA Baseball and you want to try something different. Try the NP2 or National Pastime 2. National Pastime 3. Sorry, National Pastime 3. All right, so what's in the top 50? We're halfway home. These are the top 50 games now. Are you ready? This game was number 74 last year. It plummeted down to 50. Pretty good because we played it a few times, and I realized now that maybe I wasn't as fair, or not as fair as enamored with this game as I should have been. I played this game 4 times in 2024, and this game is called Earth. It is a engine building game where you're trying to put cards out in your tableau where you can build different plants, and you're trying to complete different objectives. There are several different climate objectives, several different land objectives, there's like 8 different objectives you're trying to complete, and you're trying to build up you're trying to get your trees to sprout buds, and gross on them, and there's a lot of really cool things, but your tableau is left to right, top to bottom, and you can have 3 rows of 3 or 4 rows of 3. I forget. I'm trying to remember now. I think it's 4 rows of 3. I think you can have is it 4 rows of 4? Now I'm confused. I think it's 4 rows of 3, I think. So you can build that up, but it goes top to bottom, left to right, and you're activating everything. So you might earn soil, which will allow you to build sprouts, which might allow you to grow, which might allow you to add cards to your compost, which is kind of your kind of like your discard pile, but that all of those cards count towards victory points at the end of the end of the game. This is one of those action selection games where every action you take, all your opponents get to take a similar but weaker action. So kind of like trying to think of a good example for this. Can't think of something right off the top of my head, but like if you activate it, you get to I'm going to be able to draw cards. I get to draw 4 cards, and I get to compost 1, and I get to keep 1 in my hand, and the other 2 I discard, while everybody else can draw 1 card. So everyone else gets a little bit of a bonus, but you get the big boss bonus. It's an engine building game. You're trying to develop, your right plants and everything, your species in, so that you earn lots of soil so you can build lots of plants. Your soil is basically your resource to buy new cards in this game, which thematically makes sense. It's really good. I had it at number 74 last year because the components are a little off for me. The artwork, as you can see, is great on the box, and the cards are not full size. I hate when companies do this. They don't make full-size poker cards. They make it like a thinner card for some reason. Like, why? Why just give me a normal-size card? And some of the artwork on the boards, especially the AI board, is very generic, very no artwork at all. It's just got a fancy little design on the outpost, and that's why I didn't rate it very high. This year I'm rating it more upon not with the components in mind, but the gameplay in mind. So for me, it's a top 50 game of all time just because there's a lot of great cards, ton of different cards in the box, ton of different things to do, different scoring cards and different land cards and different climate cards, and you're always experiencing new things, and you got a stack of cards like this tall of all the cards you're going to be drawing from, and a lot of those cards go in your compost. You'll never even see them, what they are. There are like events that you're trying to complete. There's just a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it. And it's a really good engine building game. I highly recommend it. Number 50, Earth. Number 49 was number 12 last year. We already had one big faller, which was Eldritch Horror from number 8. We have another one, which is number 12 last year. It's all the way down to number 49. This is I think I'm crazy rating it 49, but I also agree with my rating because I tried this game several times this year. I've tried to make a solo mode for this game. I created cards for it. I tried to play it. It just doesn't play great solo, no matter what you do and how you do it. It is so difficult. The game I'm talking about is Dead of Winter, the Crossroad games. And we're also throwing the Wrong Road in there. So this is just anything Dead of Winter is all in this. There's not going to be a separate section. This is a game all about survival of the fittest. And you're trying to use the characters that you're given to you to complete the objectives. Everyone has their own characters. You have your own little party of people, but you're trying to work together. There is a traitor mechanic in this, similar to Battlestar Galactica, if you're familiar with that game, where somebody might be a cyborg. Well, there might be somebody in Dead of Winter that's out for themselves and trying to screw you over. Not every game is like that. If you can play this with people, 3 to 4, 5 people, this is a great, great game. Probably top 15 game. Probably maybe even top 10. But I have to rank it based upon the solo ability and how you can play it solo. And again, I've tried to make a solo mode for this. I've made my own cards. I've done everything. The encounter deck that comes with Dead of Winter is so frustrating because it never happens. It's like, you pull an event and it's like, and you always are pulling an event for the player to your left. And like, you're watching what he does with his characters because it might say on the event, if they have Billy and Billy goes to the police station, then this event happens. And so you're watching him. Well, first he has to have Billy, and then he has to move Billy to the police station. And you're trying to make sure, okay, well, no, okay. And so, like, the chance of those events happening are so slim. It's ridiculous. So it just... I understand why, because they were trying to mirror Battlestar Galactica system into a Dead of Winter theme, and it just doesn't work as well as it should. And they should have taken the survival aspect of it and doubled up on that, and they could still have a traitor mechanic and make a solo mode that works against all the players like Arkham Horror, and that game could have been top 10, top 15 potential. But it's still a great game. It just doesn't play great solo. It plays great 3, 4, 5 people, 6 people maybe. It's just, yeah. Dead of Winter. It's falling, and it might fall all the way off the list next year because I'm to the point where I want to like this game because all the different characters, And it does play fun and interesting and thought-provoking and okay, what are we going to do? We need some medicine. Somebody's got to go to the hospital. I can't go to the hospital. We already got frostbite. If I go out in the cold, I'm going to die. You're going to have to send someone. Well, I can't send somebody because I don't have anyone that can do any searching. And you're also rolling dice, and based upon the dice rolls you roll, each character has a certain number to do his search. Some characters only need a 3, some characters need a 4, some characters need a 6 to do a search, and so you're using up the dice really quickly, and you're like, okay, well, we have a 3, a 4, and a 2 left, and none of my characters can do anything like with any of those numbers. So it's such a great game. There's a lot of strategy. There's a lot of interesting things going on. It just plays great multiplayer, not so much solo. Number 48 was number 119 this last year, so it's dropped a whole bunch, and the reason is Board Game Arena. We played this every Friday for like a month. We just kept coming back to it over and over and over again. And the game I'm talking about is Viticulture, number 48. It was number 119 last year because I only played it once in 2023. In 2024, Viticulture, let's see, Viticulture, where are you on the list? How many times do we play you? Viticulture. Viticulture. It does start with a V, right? I bet you it does. Wow, how come I can't find it? Because I'm not looking in the right spots. Where is Viticulture? Now I'm going to have to actually use the find feature now. Vidi. It says 1, so I know that's wrong. I probably forgot to put him into Board Game Geek. That's probably the problem. That's why I was looking higher on the list. I know we played this more than once. I absolutely positively remember playing this like 3 or 4 Fridays in a row, and I was thinking about having a whole series where I played it every Friday. For like 3 or 4 months, because it's a great game. It's a worker placement game where you're trying to build wine in a winery, and you're trying to get the right people to come visit, and you're trying to use their special abilities to earn the right resources. You can grow the right kind of grapes to complete the orders that different customers have, and so you have to age some of your wines. Sometimes you need special buildings, like you might need the trellis, or you might need I'm not a wine guy, so I don't know, other pieces of the windmill. There's different pieces and parts that you can build. So you're trying to use your workers, and you only have 3 workers. You can try to get a 4th worker by going to the worker station. I think the most you can have is like 5 workers. So you're always constantly battling the money and this and that. But it's a all-time classic Euro game. Many people love this game. It plays great. It is super good. There's several expansions. You can get Tuscany. You can get the Mamas and Papas expansion, which I highly recommend. If you start with the Mama, which is a lady, and she gives you resources and stuff to start with, and a Papa, which is a guy, and he gives you resources and stuff to start with, and you combine those two, and that's your starting, so you're not starting with just random. Everyone start with the same thing. You got your own Mama and your own Papa, and that's the stuff you start with. So it kind of gives you a nice direction. I love the Mama and Papa expansion. It's awesome. Viticulture Essentials Edition, again with or without the Tuscany. I've played it without the Tuscany, and I think it plays fine. I know a lot of people say they prefer it with the Tuscany edition, so you might want to try it with the Tuscany just to see what it's like. My number 48, Viticulture, way up this year. It's on Board Game Arena. You can get on if you have a premium account, play it, try it out, but, pick it up and purchase it. I've got the deluxe edition bundle, so I got the metal coins and all the fancy dancy everything, and really like this one. All right, number 47 is a brand new one. We haven't said that in a long time. It's been a long time since Resist at 59. 47 is it's a war game light is what I'm going to call this. It's part of a series of games that are kind of introductory war games by David Thompson and Trevor Benjamin. This is Undaunted Stalingrad. This for me is a really big surprise. I really like the Undaunted system. We played Undaunted Normandy a couple times. And so I bought the other Undaunted. There's Undaunted North Africa, Undaunted Battle of Britain, Undaunted Stalingrad. And we actually played Normandy, we played Stalingrad, and we played Battle of Britain. I did not like Battle of Britain at all. The plane combat was a little wonky. I don't think this system works well with air combat. It works great with land combat. And Stalingrad really works well with that because it's got a campaign mode. It has terrain that alters based upon whether you win or lose the scenario. Some of your cards will upgrade based upon what events happen. When you actually lose cards in just a one-off game, you lose cards, you don't really care. But in this game, like when you lose your cards, you're like, damn, I'm not going to get this guy back. He's gone. He's dead. He's no longer going to be in my deck. And that makes it so you can't just sacrifice 12 guys because you don't give two craps because you need the objective. No, you need to find a way to get the objectives while keeping your guys alive, while trying to complete the objectives. It's not an easy task. And in fact, I think I played this 3 times and I failed all 3 missions because I couldn't find a way to win without sacrificing many, many guys. And the Germans, I think I was playing as the Soviets. I believe I was playing as the Soviets. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I actually played it. But yeah, Undaunted Stalingrad. I know they just released a new game for Undaunted, which is a sci-fi game. And I've got that on order. It's on its way. It's on its way with Turing Machine, actually. The 2 games are coming. It's Undaunted Callisto 2600 or something like that. It's on its way, so we're going to be playing that this year and trying it out. And I hear it's really good because the Undaunted land-based system is really good, and they've now refined it to this fantasy world, so they don't have real-world restrictions. They don't have to worry about all that. They've created fantasy, sci-fi, mechs, and things like that you now can use and use in Undaunted. Callisto, I think is the name of it. So looking forward to that coming in. But anyway, Stalingrad, Undaunted, very, very light Euro-y war game mix by David Thompson, Trevor Benjamin. If you want to try a war game and you've been like afraid, I don't want to dip my toes in too far, try Undaunted Normandy or Undaunted North Africa. Try one of those 2. If you like those games and you say, wow, this is not bad, I can play this. It plays great solo, by the way. Undaunted, there is a solo system built into the game if you buy the reinforcements pack. So if you get, say, Undaunted Normandy and you buy the reinforcement pack, you will have an AI system that you can use. And it works perfectly great. David Thompson and Trevor Benjamin did a really good job with that. Undaunted Stalingrad does not have a solo system in the game, but you can basically play it one side and then take the other player's side. There is There is one mechanism in the game that you will miss out on, and that is each player starts with 4 cards, and you're going to choose one of those cards as your initiative card, and you're going to put it face down in front of you, and then when everyone has their initiative, you flip it over, and there is some strategy in going first and not going first, and what card you want to keep in your hand. So if you are randomly shuffling and flipping over cards for both sides to find out who has the initiative, you're losing that mechanism. So if you are a stickler and you have to play an official solo, then I would say do not get Undaunted Stalingrad. Get Undaunted Normandy and the reinforcement back. You need the reinforcement back for the AI system. So it's highly, highly recommended. But Undaunted Stalingrad plays great. It's a pleasure to play. Really good game, really good system. And we'll leave it at that. Number 47. 46. It was number 395 last year because I tried it once. I was like, it's okay. It's not great. It's a baseball simulation game. Actually played it. How many times did we play it this year? Let's go up to the top of the list because it's going to be pretty high. We played it 8 times. Okay, 8 times. So not a ton, but we tried to get a few games in. We actually have a 2009 World Series going on that I just can't get back to. I've got 2 games in, and I just can't get back to playing it. It is season ticket baseball. Great baseball simulation. It's got an interesting dice rolling system. It's a lot of people really like this game. I like this game, or I wouldn't have played it 8 times. It plays pretty decent. It's a baseball simulation. You're going to roll a D6, which is going to give you 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, and then you're going to roll percentile. So your results is going to be between 100 and 699. And based upon that, you're going to look at either the pitcher, the batter. You're going to look at defensive cards. Any of the 500 numbers are defensive cards, and then 600s are your ballpark cards. So it does take ballpark into consideration. It takes defense and range and errors into play in all the 500 numbers. So if you roll 547, you're going to look at it's going to be the second baseman, which is position 4, and you're going to look at a 7 to find out what he does with that. It might be an error, it might be a double play ball. You have to look and see what he does. The reason this game isn't ranked any higher than this, although it made a huge jump because I played it 8 times, is because I don't like the fact that they have no way in the base game to have every time you have to look up a defensive player position, you have to look through the players, you have to look to the stack and look and find that players, and it just slows down the flow of the game. And it just drives me crazy. If you roll like 3 5s in a row, you're like, oh my God. So I've had to look at the second baseman, then I had to look at the left fielder, and now I got to look at the third baseman. Oh my God, this inning is taking forever because I've got to go through. Now, if you have every one of the cards out on the table separated, it'll be a lot easier. If you have them all stacked up in one stack and you're just looking at one card at a time, it's going to be a little bit more of a trouble. Season ticket baseball, very interesting game. Let's move on. Number 45 is new to the list. This is an engine building game that has great fun artwork, and it's got a very interesting mechanism again where you're selecting what you're going to be activating for the round, different positions, and I'm talking about raising robots. It's new to us this year. We played it with Craig at his house when I went up to Ohio in April for Buckeye Game Fest. He couldn't make it to Buckeye Game Fest, so I went over to his house. We played a bunch of games. This is one game that he introduced me to. It's very Wingspan-y-ish, where you're trying to build your robots. You need all the pieces and parts to build your little robots. and you're trying to earn the ribbons and the components and all the different pieces and parts. And then each of your robots has special ability that they'll give you when you activate that row. Just like in Wingspan, you have 3 different rows you're going to be activating. And you have your own special character who has special abilities that will give you certain things. And then there's different tokens on your player board that you can try to flip over and use, and different things to give different bonuses. So you're starting off very slow, but you're activating different locations with different energy power. You're spending energy power to try and activate that location. Each robot costs a certain amount of energy to use its special ability. And then, of course, you might have one robot that says, oh, get two gears. And then the next robot is like, spend a gear to get 3 victory points, or things like that. You're doing all that fun, interesting thing. We played this probably about 4 or 5 times. We played it solo. I actually picked this up when I got home. It's kind of hard to find, actually. It was for a while. I wanted to get this when I got home from Ohio. I couldn't find it. And then towards the end of the year, there was a couple of copies that came available. So I don't know if they reprinted it or if I just got lucky out there. So this might be a little bit harder to find. But it's a fun, you can see the artwork is super quirky. It's very nice. My number 45, new to me this year, is Raising Robots. Number 44 is another baseball sim, and it dropped a bunch. It was number 21. It's Payoff Pitch. It's probably my number 1 baseball game, and it dropped all the way to 44, which is, it just shows you how much I'm not, it's not like getting sick of sports games. It's just like I'm kind of overrating them really, really low. Like, I mean, yes, the baseball sim is really good, and simulating the baseball game is awesome, or simulating a hockey game or simulating a golf game is really fun and interesting. It's just not top 20 or top 30 material at this point for me. There's just, I've been playing these games for years and years, and it's just, I've been playing Payoff Pitch since it was released. And it's just, it's, again, you're rolling 2d6s to get a result on a pitcher card, rolling 2d100s, and you're getting a result on the batter card, and you're getting the results. If it's a single, then there's fast action cards to find out where the runners on bases go, and you're just simulating a baseball game and putting players in. This is a batter by batter results, and it can take anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. If you have one that goes in extra innings, it's going to be like an hour and 45 minutes. If you get a very quick game, you might get it done in about 45 minutes to an hour. It's there are charts or fast action cards you can try to do, just speed up the game. But every game is still like an hour. On average, it's an hour. Just figure on average about an hour to play every single game. So if you're playing 162 games, because you're playing a whole season, great. That's 162 hours you're going to be, on average, you're going to be playing. Maybe a little bit longer. And that for me is too much of a commitment. So I only play them maybe 6 or 8 games, and I'm kind of done with it. And it's great to keep coming back to, but I've got 8 to 10 seasons to Payoff Pitch. And I've played the 2018 and the 2021 seasons. And I'm like, I don't know when am I gonna find time to play more. I mean, sure, I could do one-offs, but what good is one-offs? Like, who cares about a one-off? Nobody. Like, if you have a project, like you're gonna commit to a project, like I'm gonna play this team all through the season, that is a super mega commitment. I know Phoenix Knight is doing a season ticket replay, and he's playing 2 games, I think, every week of the season, and it's going to take him like 2 or 3 months to complete this project. And I don't have the desire or the dedication or the time to commit to 2 or 3 months to finish one baseball season. That's why sports games for me in general have all dropped 20 to 30 to 40 spots. And I'm sorry to say it. Number 43 is another brand new game to us. So we've had new game, old game, new game, old game, new game, old game. So it's been back and forth for the last few. Number 43 is a new game to me. This it's a well, I'll just show you what it is. It is Discordia, which for me has got one of the worst box covers in existence. Because tell me what Discordia is about, please. Somebody out there? Anyone? Anyone? Nobody knows based upon this box cover. Now, if you played the game, you know what it's about. It's about trying to rebuild the Roman along the river, or whatever the name of the river was, the German river. I think it's the Rhine. I can't remember the Roman presence on the Rhine River, and you're trying to rebuild this by putting different building tiles out. You're using 3 dice, which if you look very, very close, the little kid is actually tossed the 3 dice up in the air, and you can see them. There's a yellow one, a red one, and a blue one. They're very hard to spot. Very hard to spot. So you're going to you're going to be putting your dice out there to try and get different tiles. And it's kind of a little engine building thing as well. There's different tracks to go up. It is very interesting, very thematic. The AI plays great. There's no issue with that. And you're just trying to do the best you can in I think it's only 3 or 4 turns and the game is over. So it's a very quick game. I got the expansion, which was just released a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. So very recently, called Discordia Magma, I think it's called. And it adds isometric factions. So every player board, instead of being the same, every player board is different. So you have different, you might start off with 2 military buildings, and I might start off with 2 trade locations. So we're going to have different strategies. We're going to try different things. Jonathan says, sounds like a neat game, but the art, while very good, it doesn't really show what you're trying to do. It doesn't show the tiles. It doesn't show the buildings. It's for me, very, I wonder if this is why when you hear a lot of people talk about Discordia, not a lot of people play Discordia or talk about Discordia, or it's not mainstream. I thought it was a great game. The only reason I came across this one is I came across, I think, someone playing it or a video online. And I'm like, oh, this one looks interesting. Let me see. So I didn't even know what the box looked like when I ordered it. I just ordered it. I'm like, oh, Discordia. I'm going to have to write that down. And I ordered it. And I was like, oh, yeah. And then it came in. I'm like, oh, my God, this box is awful. So that's my number 43. New to us this year. Let's move on to number 42, which was 107 last year, just outside the top 100. This game, we actually played its twin brother yesterday. We played the first edition of this game. This is a second edition, and oh my God, this game is so good. If you are looking for a medium weight fantasy game that plays great solo, that gives you lots of character variety. I think there's somewhere in the neighborhood of 27 or 28 different characters. I believe that's the number. Don't quote me on that, but I believe in the second edition you have 27 or 28 different characters that plays with different decks. Each character has their own deck of cards. And you're basically going up against a necromancer who's just causing blight everywhere and trying to cause you problems. You got events that happen every turn. You're trying to get rid of the blights. You're also trying to do searches so that you can find the clues to where the necromancer has hidden the holy relics. And if you can possibly find a holy relic, you have a 1 in 6 chance of maybe killing the Necromancer. Good luck to you. We just played the first edition, which is very, very similar to the second edition. Very similar to the second edition. Artwork is a little bit on the lighter side. The components are a little bit different than the second edition. And you need some of the expansions to get the full experience. But as I talked about in my video yesterday, if you order the Necromancer bundle, which is this game right here, if you order the Necromancer bundle, in the first edition, you can pick it up for anywhere. I picked that up for $30. The second edition, which you can see here, is going for anywhere between $160 to $200. So, yes, there is a huge difference. You can't find a second edition. Nobody's selling a second edition. It's just, if you can find a copy, you should pick it up. If this interests you at all, because I got my copy a couple years ago when there was a couple copies around, but it's I would hate to say the one thing that's holding this game back is they need to reprint it and get some more copies out there, because it's extremely expensive. They need like a third edition, to be honest. There's a few rule mechanisms that don't quite line up. The one thing that can drive you and me crazy is each character gets one and only one action. So if you want to move from the monastery to the castle, boom, you're done. That's it. That's all you get to do. You get one action every turn. If you want to fight the blight, say there's skeletons there, you want to fight the skeletons, that's it. That's all you get to do. You get one action. So while every character, all 4 characters, does one action, you're going to be rolling dice to try and get those actions completed. And if you watch my playthrough from last night, there will be turns where of your 4 characters, you had 0 successes, which means you did absolutely nothing during the turn. That's the way the game's designed, and it can be frustrating for people. So just keep that in mind. It's a great game. It tells a great story. The components in second edition have tarot-sized cards that are beautiful. I will try and get the second edition out again at some point this year. But trust me when I say this, the first edition is well worth the money. Again, the Necromancer bundle, which I spent $30 on, comes with 18 different characters to play. And it comes with Expansion 1 and Expansion 2. You do not get Expansion 3 or Expansion 4. But for $30, you're getting basically 3 games. As opposed to spending $170 to $200 on this game. So, I mean, this is a full-blown second edition. Everything comes. It's just one box. You get everything. So there's like no expansions for it or anything like that. Anyways, great game, number 42. We got one left today, and that game is going to be Cthulhu Death May Die, which was number 200 last year. So it fell a lot, which is very good. We played this earlier in the year a couple times, and I actually have like Season 2 or Season 3 still in the shrink wrap up there. So this year we're going to try and get Season 2 or Season 3 out there. And try and get some more Cthulhu Death May Die. It is a very interesting game system based upon Cthulhu and the mythos. And what you're trying to do is take your investigators and complete the missions based upon what you're trying to do. And as you progress through the mission, your characters will take sanity damage. And you're trying to manage that sanity damage, which makes you crazier and crazier, and it levels you up, and you get to do more things. But if you get to the end, you just go insane and you just can't do anything. But you want to power yourself up because you get more powerful. You get to do more things. You get more special abilities. You get, as your character fights the evil, you just turn into this crazed woman or crazed man. And it's so thematic. You're going to be trying to just every mission. The one mission we played earlier this year was you're trying to stop the ritual before they can actually bring in the ancient one, and so you got to like try and go and go find the ritual spot. But the cultists are at a party, and they're hidden amongst the civilians. So you got all these tokens and people on the board, and you're trying to decide who's the bad guys and who's the good guys. So each mission is so thought out, so interesting. It gives you a great story. It is an expensive game. I think this is by Simon. So you're talking huge components, huge quality, but a huge price as well. And of course, you're talking about major time investment, major, you're going to get the full experience anytime you order anything with Simon. You're going to get huge, tall miniatures that are great. You're going to get miniatures for everything. You're going to get tokens. You're going to get you're going to get the player boards. You're going to get all this stuff in great looks. But of course, again, it's going to cost. But if you enjoy these kinds of games, every character plays different. Each character can do certain things. Some characters can't do certain things, and you're trying to work out the whole puzzle of trying to figure out how in the hell are we going to do this. And the whole time you're doing this, you see the Ancient One moving down the track, and if he awakens, good luck. I do like the modularity of this system, where you can take any Ancient One and they sell a bunch of the extra. They sell a bunch of the extra Ancient Ones that you can get to add to the game. Here I've got Ithaca, the Windwalker. There's a whole bunch of other ones each season they introduce. So you can play against Cthulhu or Ithaca or Hastur or any of the other ones that you pick up. So, and of course, we're talking about another huge miniature, and this miniature has its own friend that comes in and its own cards. It's typical Simon. You got 1 million cards. You got 1 million different characters. You got 1 million different enemies, and they all do their own special thing. So it's just awesome. Cthulhu, Death May Die. That's number 41. All right. So that is the show for tonight. We're down to just 2 episodes left. Saturday night, Sunday night, we'll have the whole top 100 done. Hopefully you watched the first 2 episodes. We counted down 100 down to 81 and 80 down to 61 last night. We're just cruising through this list. I'm having a good time. Hopefully you guys are having a good time watching this, learning a few things about these different games, hearing my opinions about them. Of course, these are just my opinions of the game. You might hate Cthulhu Death May Die, and it might drive you crazy. And that's okay. Everyone has their own thoughts and opinions about every single thing. And if your thoughts and opinions are different, all I would tell you is do this. Do me a favor. Go online and create your own list and send it to me, because I would love to watch you do a top 100 list. And I love watching them. I've watched every single one that I've come across this year. I love watching them because I learn about new games. I hear what other people like. I find games that I haven't even played yet. I hear things about games that I do own and go, oh, I didn't think about that. Maybe I should give this game another try because I've heard this person say, oh, don't forget this game plays great solo because of X, Y, and Z. Oh, I didn't realize that. So, I would love it if you would post your list of top 100 or top 50 or top 20 or top 10, whatever you do. Down in the comments section, I will be more than happy to come and watch, and I will leave you a comment. That is my promise to you. I will come and watch your video, and I will leave a comment. Everyone can do it. Just create a YouTube channel and start posting videos. So, I love watching the different top 100 for different reasons. And hopefully you're watching this for the same reason. You're getting ideas about what games you like. You're listening about games that I like, and you're trying to compare those, and you're trying to find out if there's anything you don't know about, and games that maybe you just don't know that much about, and you're trying to get some more information. And that's what I'm trying to do with this series, is show that and give that off to you. And hopefully it's been working pretty good. So we got 2 more nights, Saturday and Sunday at 7 o'clock. We'll see you then. I appreciate everyone. Mike said it, 40% more to go. We're already more than halfway done. Last year, it took us a month and a half to get this done because we were doing 1 episode a week, and then we went to 2 episodes a week, and it took like a month and a half. And I said, this year, I am not spending a month and a half to do my reviews. I'm going to get them done as quick and as efficiently as possible. So, and then maybe what we'll do is we'll have a wrap-up show, maybe after I do all top 100, where we talk about, the list. We talk about surprises, games that I thought were going to be lower, games that I thought were going to be higher, games that just missed out on making the list, and games that I might be playing this year in 2025 that I foresee making it into the list. There are many games that I have that I have not currently played yet, and so they're not on this list because I haven't played them. And I've got Beyond the Star. I have Age of Innovation, which I've heard nothing but awesomeness about. I have Merchant of the Dark Road, which I hear a lot of good things about. I have Maracaibo, which I hear is very similar to Great Western Trail. So I've got that. I have a solo-only game, which is going to probably be the next game coming to the channel, called Unbroken, which is, according to this, the #1 backed pure solo game of all time. So we're going to be trying this out sometime very soon. We got Mag 23. We've got War Games. We got, we've just got a ton of stuff that I haven't actually played yet. So we're going to be, there's a lot of things that I could probably add to this list coming up, which means some of these games that we've already seen will be gone off the list. And right now, they're on the list. So creating a list of top 100 is great if you have 100 games. It's not great if you have 500 games or 600 games or 1,000 games. Holy cow. It just makes it that much harder. Like, if you have, just say if you have 3 children and you have to pick one of them, like you're jumping out of an airplane, you have 3 kids, you're jumping out of an airplane, but you only take one with you in the parachute. Which one are you going to take, right? Now, if you have 8 kids, now it's an even worse decision, right? Because now you got 8 kids. Oh my God, which one am I going to take? That's what you run into when you try to create a list that has a whole bunch of things and you're trying to narrow it down to just a few. You have to take the best of the best of the best. And that's what this list is. Every one of these games, every single one of these games is the best of the best of the best. I would play any one of these games. In fact, Pentaquest, which is number 100, is going to probably be played tonight later on. We're going to be playing Pentaquest again because it's such a fun, interesting game. Anyways, I'm boring you with my ramble. We'll talk to you soon. Until then, my friends, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. We'll see you soon tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't you forget, I will see you. What? That's right. Down the line. We'll see you tomorrow.